This is what happens when you give a camera and just give them free access to the internet. He got prison for blah, 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 for blackmailing a YouTuber for millions. Excuse me, what? Excuse me? Why do people do things like this? Like, you know that you're gonna get caught. No, they don't, actually, because they're massive retards.
This YouTuber was arrested and sentenced to prison for being a part of a conspiracy to blackmail one of the biggest mukbang influencers in the world. So it's safe to say we have...
Out of everybody, you choose a mukbang influencer.
One of the more insane stories that I've covered this year. Despite the widespread coverage of this both on the internet in Asia and on the mainstream news in Korea, I have not seen any Western publications really talk too much about this, as I can only find a handful of English videos.
Yep, just leave it to the drama slop YouTubers.
Actually talking about this situation.
We cover everything.
Which made things slightly trickier researching this.
If there's a retard out there, we're gonna talk about him.
Because, you know, all the sources are Korean, so I had to translate everything myself and
we leave no retarded stone unturned.
Piece everything together. But I will say, it was absolutely worth it because this is such a wild story. So, meet Lee Jun-hee, aka Guji-yuk, which in English translates to foot and mouth disease. I'm not joking.
Oh, okay.
And this guy is a South Korean YouTuber who gained public attention in 2021 after exposing a major scandal involving one of Korea's biggest streaming platforms and a controversial altcoin. And this case later on became known as Africa TV CoinGate. There's some fascinating names here. But anyway, at first, I was skeptical that that was the actual translation of his name, foot and mouth disease. But apparently this sentence does in fact mean foot and mouth disease.
All right then.
I say as someone who doesn't speak Korean, I'm just really relying on translators here, but that's what it seems like to me at least. And the name is just scratching the surface because just like in basically all my videos, it's all downhill from here. And the main reason this
it always gets worse.
Story has such a conspiracy vibe surrounding it is because at its core, it started as a conspiracy. And the more we learn about this man's history and the controversies he's been involved with, the more troubling it all becomes. Because at first, we kind of just have to start from the beginning.
Every time.
In the past,
always gets
foot
worse.
and mouth disease, his YouTube channel was completely different to what it was right now. Now, most of his
the irony of his name, okay.
aren't public anymore, but you can see how diverse his content was. He used to do food reviews, experiments, song covers, and apparently even gaming. I feel like we've all been there before, at least with the gaming aspect. I used to be a gaming channel back in the day.
Hey, I have a gaming channel currently. I have one linked down there in the description. I'm not just gonna do it all on one channel. I separate the themes. I've got just a general reaction channel also.
Good one, but hey, we made it out of the trenches. And even though he didn't have many subscribers, he did at least have a good image attached to him. Not only did he upload consistently, but you'd often see him taking care of his mother who was suffering from dementia, showing a very different side of Lee. In those days at least. Then in 2020, Lee, or foot and mouth disease, he started dabbling into making commentary-like videos, sometimes reporting on local news, sometimes giving his opinion on global and South Korean politics, and other times talking about celebrities. And out of everything that he did, the commentary videos definitely got the most views. However, foot and mouth disease,
bro, he should have stuck with that. What happened?
His approach was very different from, say the least, the commentary videos we make here on this channel. Because rather than addressing the information and laughing about the stupid stuff that went down on the internet, this guy had a very different approach. Because essentially, he just picked people out and attacked them, even though in many cases, they didn't even deserve it. And no wonder his image started to worsen. Because it seems like
all you gotta do is just make fun of retards. That's it. It's so easy.
He was an even more edgy Leafy is here, but
yeah, too bad that he ended up being one of the retards that we're making fun of.
Only attacking
he could have been one of us.
Celebrities and political people in South Korea. And often the ways he attacked people wasn't really rooted in facts either. It was often kind of like, oh, I heard this, so I'm gonna start a rumor based on what I heard. So it's no wonder that his image started to worsen from there on out, because this is where things started to get pretty insane. Because what made things a little bit more interesting was there was also a particular hint of backroom dealings with his videos, where some would be, I guess, secretly deleted after some time. So yeah, it's not like this guy has made the best career choices throughout the years. In fact, South Korean users actually invented a term.
Like, why would you put your content at risk like that? Like, to me, my content is my well-being, and whenever I have to delete something, I feel really, really bad about it. And it's usually because I have to. Actually, there hasn't been an instance where I've deleted something because I didn't have to. If I had to delete something, it was because I had to. Like, YouTube made me. Or they deleted it themselves. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that was the case every time, where YouTube was like, we're gonna yoink this.
To describe the foot and mouth disease type of content, which is called apparently cyber wrecking. And this is apparently where you essentially make up false speculations about someone else popular and then include a bunch of personal attacks that the target doesn't want on the internet. And this is apparently what the people in South Korea call cyber wreckers. Their main targets tend to be famous influencers and South Korean celebrities. In particular, foot and mouth disease became a very hot topic not too long ago after Nana, a South Korean actress and former singer of the girl group After School, publicly announced that she was suing him for spreading false information about her.
The question has been answered. Nana, an actress from the group After Departure, has sued YouTuber Koo Jae-hyuk, who was recently arrested for blackmailing a YouTuber Chiang to extort money from her. She accused him of spreading falsehoods about her personal life. This is what Nana posted on social media on the 24th. I filed a lawsuit and said that I will respond strongly without any punishment. So if you chose me as a provocative issue, you chose me very wrong. I said I would show you in person.
See, this is why I don't create drama. I just react to it.
He wrote, "Who does Jae-hyuk Koo know me?" and warned of legal action against him. Earlier, Koo Jae-hyuk spoke with Kim Si-hee, the CEO of the YouTube channel Garosero Research Institute, and said that Nana had a deep kiss with the businessman and influencer. Friends allegedly recognized drugs. Koo Jae-hyuk is currently in custody and awaiting trial for allegedly extorting tens of millions of won by blackmailing the foodie YouTuber.
And his latest target, and probably the one who has got him into the most trouble until now, was Chu Yang, who is one of the biggest mukbang creators in South Korea and honestly in the world, because she has over 10 million subscribers.
I've seen this chick before, actually.
And apparently, who would have known? When you try to extort millions of won from someone while recording everything on your phone, things don't normally end too well. And that is exactly what happened here. Because on July 10th, 2024, during a live broadcast on the official channel of Garosero Institute, which is an alternative Korean news channel known for covering a lot of controversial topics, they revealed that 3 famous YouTubers were involved in a scheme blackmailing Chu Yang. And they were actually one of the first media outlets to report on this case, even before Chu Yang herself publicly discussed it on her channel. These 3 YouTubers not only allegedly worked together on this scheme, they also had this kind of like secret group of their own, which was apparently called the Online Tow Truck Mutual Aid Association. That included foot and mouth disease, Jeon Guk-jin, and Karakula. And apparently a couple other creators, but that's not really that relevant to us right now because they were never brought up into the trial.
I've thought about like making my own little creator group. I haven't found anybody that actually do the work to be a part of it. I've thought about it, but then there's things like this that come about where I'm just like, I don't know if I actually want to work with anybody else because I can't trust anybody.
But the Garosero Institute also allegedly revealed how much they had extorted from her. At this stage, the amount was already more than tens of millions of won on the condition that they would not reveal Chu Yang's past to the public. For context, 10 million won is about $7,500. And shortly after this news broke, Chu Yang herself came forward and revealed that she had also been a victim of not only extortion, but this past that she wanted to hide was her being a victim of dating violence, threats, actively being robbed by her ex-boyfriend, and forced to work in the last 4 to 5 years of her life.
Popular mukbang YouTuber known as Jiang, whose real name is Park Jung-won, has alleged she was subjected to physical assault and blackmail by a former boyfriend over several years. Now, some YouTubers have even threatened her to expose her ordeal. The prosecution has now initiated an investigation into these YouTubers.
And this is where I guess...
Dude, bro, like, we're getting the entire world looking at YouTubers now and, like, social media influencers. This is the next thing. This is the next celebrities right here. It's so weird to watch it happen, though. And it's happening to, like, random people. It's kind of like how it was in the 90s with Hollywood, where just, like, random kids, random people were becoming famous out of nowhere.
But mouth disease starts to panic because he then...
And a bunch of problems came out of it. A bunch of abuse. A bunch of weirdos.
Released a statement through his YouTube channel's community tab trying to defend himself. in which he subtly suggested that this whole incident was nothing more than a misunderstanding. And then he went on to guarantee once he had all the cards on the table that everyone would be able to understand his side of the story. And here it says, I apologize for not being able to protect Xu Zhang's right to be forgotten. I swear to heaven that I never did anything shameful and I did my best to protect Xu Zhang's right to be forgotten. I currently have complete interviews with the victims and all the people involved. And I will tell you everything by tomorrow morning at the latest. I will say this once again, I did not receive any extortion money and I did not blackmail anyone. If you had heard the illegally obtained audio recordings, you would have known all the conversations between Xu Zhang and me. But I will not forgive those scumbags who exposed Xu Zhang's painful wounds to the world just to explain themselves. Please wait just one day. As always, I will win if I go all the way. And I guess up until this point, he kept his word, because as promised, the next day he uploaded a new video on his channel discussing his side of the Xu Zhang case. And even though this video has now been deleted, which is a little bit ironic as well, he claimed that he actually acted as a double agent. Clearly, he's not the bad guy here. He was just a double agent, ladies and gentlemen. He was using immoral means to protect Xu Yang all along.
Yeah, that's some straight up autistic shit, man. That's
Okay,
so
right.
retarded.
I guess that makes sense. No, it doesn't make sense at all. This guy, foot and mouth disease, essentially never had anything to do with Xu Yang in the first
Dude, the irony. The irony of that name.
place. Because before these recent events, they had no direct connection to each other. It's not like
he put his foot in his mouth. If he would have shut the fuck up in the first place, just didn't bring up shit that's not true, like, you wouldn't be in this mess. Should have just talked about retards.
had any history together at all, because they don't. They've never met. But still, the Garosera Institute reported that foot and mouth disease was extorting Xu Yang based on leaking information about her past. However, how would he ever know anything about Xu Yang's past if he's never been there before? So, of course, he had some sort of informant, which is why I guess he claimed to be acting as this double agent. Because in addition to his statements, in his latest video, he also showed the transcript of a contact that he supposedly made with either Xu Zhang or Xu Yang's management team. And here's the kicker. So to keep everything that he knew a secret and to reveal the identity of this informant only to Xu Yang herself, they would have to pay him around 55 million won, which in terms of this incident is no different from saying he just sold out his informant's personal information for about $40,000. And then he went on to claim that he tried his best to hide Xu Zhang's past, but thankfully the people in the comments, they were
And it would have worked if it wasn't for you meddling kids and your dog.
Wake, and they were like, this sounds pretty conflicting, dude. Because hey, if you really cared and wanted to protect all of this, he would have just deleted all the relevant recordings instead of keeping them as they were, as, you know, potential blackmail. So it's safe to say, in the end, his self-proclaimed double agent story kind of backfired on him in a way that he honestly probably didn't even expect. Essentially, he burned the bridges with both parties over here. Both the
and he burned the bridge of the internet. Now he's never going to be in the good graces of the internet. Completely fucked that up. Just forever going to be a lol cow if you try and do anything.
Informant and
it's the only thing you got left.
Team. TLDR, he dug his own grave, and that is if the double agent story is remotely true. But things got even worse for him when Xu Zhang, along with her attorney team, publicly announced that they were suing foot and mouth disease and the other two members of the online tow truck association, and apparently was going for this case with no leniency. So then in response, foot and mouth disease uploaded a new video on his channel titled, I will submit my golden phone to the 3rd Criminal Division of the Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office and voluntarily appear. And he did. But I guess the guy got a little bit ahead of himself because he did that before the prosecution even started investigating him. So there wasn't really too much they could do yet. And apparently a golden phone over there is a term to describe a phone in which someone stores specific information. In this case, it means the 17,000 recorded phone calls between foot and mouth disease and the other people. But it's safe to say that things got really bad.
How's he got that many recorded phone calls? Like, that's crazy. You just record every phone call?
For him on July 16th, 2024, when the attorney representing Xu Zhang in court appeared on the CBS radio's Kim Hwan-jun's news show and stated that the claim that foot and mouth disease was a double agent, that was false. After that, they could do nothing more than surrender and publicly admit that they had really attempted to extort Xu Zhang.
In a new development, those who are accused of threatening Jiang have suddenly changed their stance. They admitted to demanding and accepting money in exchange for not disclosing her past.
YouTubers who blackmailed Ziyang offered their apologies. Jin, who runs a YouTube channel that supposedly verifies unfounded rumors, uploaded a video of his apology on his channel. He said he had suggested extorting money from Ziyang when another YouTuber, Kujayok, was about to expose her past. In his apology, Chun admitted he had received 3 million won, roughly $2,100 from Ziyang's management agency. Ziyang took legal action after telling the public about how she suffered violence in the past. This comes a day after YouTube suspended the monetization for the channels run by so-called cyber wreckers. YouTubers Karacula and Kuzayak, who had been claiming they were unfairly accused, offered Ziyang their apologies. Ziyang's legal team warned of additional lawsuits, saying more people had attempted to blackmail her.
So almost 10 days after that, on the afternoon of July 23rd, the Suwon District Prosecutor's Office...
Yep, fuck around, find out, you bunch of morons. Like, how are you gonna be trying to blackmail somebody who has an audience on the internet? It's obviously not gonna work.
Requested an arrest warrant for foot and mouth disease, and Jeon Juk-kin on charges of intimidation and coercion in addition to blackmail. And at around 8 p.m. on July 26, 2024, they had both been arrested. The prosecution stated that foot and mouth disease and Jeon Juk-kin organized themselves and conspired to commit crimes by creating the association called the Korean Online Tow Truck Mutual Aid Association in 2021.
That's
and yes,
so fucking
the
weird.
authorities
So
now
cringe.
acknowledge the existence of this secret group, which is something really interesting. Because even though everyone is aware of this presence today,
it's weird that it's gonna be talked about like it's a criminal organization, and it's really just a group of moron YouTubers who are talking shit.
Idea of like a mutual help association among these like cyber wrecking YouTubers for essentially blackmailing their targets is absolute insane. I have never seen anything like this on YouTube, so it's really interesting seeing all this unfold. This would literally be like if some of the biggest creators in the US bonded together in this like secret group and then started making hit pieces on people and telling them, hey, we will keep releasing more information if you don't pay us. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's so crazy. It's almost like it didn't happen. No, it happened. The left was doing stuff like this. Democrats were doing stuff like this.
But obviously, things got even worse for them. And after the
whole Trump thing, by the way, the whole Russia hoax.
Crimes were revealed, they attempted to destroy evidence systematically, such as editing recorded phone calls, uploading videos defaming Xu Zhang, causing secondary damage.
That's some Hillary Clinton type
I guess,
shit.
as of pretty recently, actually, in the first trial, they were sentenced to 3 years in prison. But there's a separate trial going on as well.
No.
So their next hearing is in September for that one. And here, they could be facing an additional 3 to 5 years. Because here on the Mail,
yeah, we're seeing some social media influencers actually doing some time for doing some actual retarded shit.
The Mail business newspaper, it says prosecutors asked the appeals court to sentence Uver foot and mouth disease.
That's going to be the difference with the new celebrities, with the new streamer celebrities. They're actually going to start seeing jail time because the old people don't care. They don't care about streamers.
Real name Lee Jong-hee, who is
until they start to, until we get people who are old and were also streamers at one point. Probably in like 40 years, we'll start seeing celebrities being treated like old celebrities, the modern celebrities.
Sentenced to 3 years in prison in his first trial, threatening Xu Zhang, real name Park Jong-won, an eating YouTuber with 10 million subscribers, to 4 years in prison. So my understanding here is they want an additional 4 years on top of what already happened in the first trial.
That's
here,
crazy.
The
They'll
prosecution
probably
is
get
saying
it too.
it is questionable what
they actually seem to get the time that they say that they're getting over there in South Korea, which is why I'm just like, Johnny Somali is completely fucked.
The defendant sincerely reflects on his second offense, including the denial of the allegations in the investigation process, the lower court, and the appellate court, and accusing the victim of innocence. And the prosecution also demanded 3 years in prison for the other YouTuber involved here. Okay, so the court sentence is on September 5th for this case, so it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens then. No! That was so stupid. I was trying to get a fly, and I spilled Coke all over the room. And the fly is still flying around taunting me. This is awful. But I mean, hey, at least he didn't get scammed by AI Jennifer Aniston like this guy did in this video right here.
What?
But other than that, subscribe if you're new.
Bro, these Facebook morons that like they repost AI videos and they're like, oh my god, look at this disaster, I'm praying for all the victims, and it's just like, bro, this ain't real. And that's the types of people who get scammed like that. And man, it's only gonna get worse the more morons get involved with AI. Anyway, yeah, you crash out like this, you start blackmailing people, you start doing this crazy weird shit, completely evil shit, you're gonna get in trouble. Fuck around, find out. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for all notifications.